Right, good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Rudy Page, and first of all, I'd like Brother Dean to give us a prayer before we commence this meeting. Thank you, Dean.
Yes. Dear kind of an eternal Father, once again, we give you thanks. We give you praise. Thank you once again for sparing our life. Wake us up. I was able to plan the betterment for a future Jamaica and the world and our youngster. We ask you to be a part of this meeting, Lord. Bless each and every one that is on the platform. We ask you to give Rudy Page this extra strength for this initiative, Lord, and all the team, his team member. Lord, we ask you to be a part of it. And you promise us, whatever you join, no man can separate. In thy precious name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much for that, Dean. And good evening, everybody. My name is Rudy Page, and I would like to really just give you an overview of our activities. Today, our main focus will be on a project that we're initiating called the Waterway Avenue Neighborhood Group. And it's going to start with a simple green space initiative. And I'll also give you an overview of the Windrush Anchor Festival activities that will be taking place in Jamaica and how they're relevant and linked to the UK and the whole of the wider diaspora, the US diaspora. And then we'll have a dialogue around some shared learning, particularly from August Town, because that's really the model that we've been working with for the last 3 years. And then we'll be introducing Ray Duncan, who hails from Portland. And we're just going to show again how there will be collaboration between Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Thomas and Portland. And it's, for us, it's a cluster model. So the County of Surrey will be bringing together our community development projects and then sharing them amongst all the various stakeholders. And potentially we may have somebody from Montego Bay to share some of the community development work that they've initiated over the last 3 months. So just to quickly give you the background to what we call Wang, which stands for Waterway Avenue Neighborhood Group, in Mesga Gardens in St. Thomas. So before I go into that, actually, what I must also tell you that all the work that we'll be doing and discussing are focused on Vision 2030, Jamaica's National Development Plan, and the National Diaspora Policy. Both those pieces of government initiatives have the same, what we call, goals and outcomes. So goal 1, Jamaicans are empowered to achieve their fullest potential. Goal 2, the Jamaican society is secure, cohesive and just. Goal 3, Jamaica's economy is prosperous. Goal 4, Jamaica has a healthy environment. So all of the projects and initiatives that we're involved in Jamaica and around the diaspora, which you'll hear about this evening, all feed into those 4 goals. And I'll say it once again: the Vision 2030 National Development Plan and the National Diaspora Policy, which is about the integration of the diaspora into Jamaica. So the Waterway Avenue Neighborhood Group, that's a new grouping, small area within the overall Mesga Gardens community. So it's really a catalyst for the type of work that we do. And what we've decided to start with this particular project, Community Garden Initiative, and it's really an alternative approach that within communities there are empty lots, and those empty lots can be turned into what we call a collective concept that allows you to bring people together, encourage intergenerational building, socializing, well-being meetings as a green space. It also acts as a community resource, which provides opportunities for people of all ages to come together, share their knowledge and experiences. Also, the garden concept, of course, that's about also learning about agriculture, plants, and climate change activities that will help to create a more peaceful and caring neighborhoods. And Dean will talk a bit more about the idea of the peaceful, caring neighborhoods, because what we mean by that, we're also thinking about the young people of an area. So there's the three fundamental principles of the youth development that we're involved in. It's quite simple. We say young people need somewhere to go. Young people need something to do. Young people need someone to show them how. So I'll repeat that. Young people need somewhere to go. Young people need something to do. Young people need someone to show them how. So on that basis, we've identified Grants Pen Primary School in terms of where our linkage will go. So Grant Pen Primary School, I've been in touch with the head teacher. Those of you on the Mesga Gardens group, you would have seen the videos of some of the successes the school has. But like all primary schools, they have their challenges, but most important, they have a vision and they have a mission to improve the lives of the young people who are attending that school. Also, another initiative within that area, within the school, and Dean will talk about this, is the establishment of a scout group. And why we think that's important as well, linked to the ambitions of what we want to do in the area, and also having a scout troop in that area means that we can, again, use that opportunity to build relationships between the young people who are in the scouts, and also bring about a good community service project, which links neatly to some of the environment enhancement for the area, which includes the beach and this just the general community. I mean, and what we're proposing is no different to what's done in many communities, as we'll hear a bit further on. I won't be talking about the Mesga Gardens Boulevard infrastructure project this evening. That discussion will be for another time. So this evening we're really going to talk about young people and also share some of the learning that is and the experiences of Augusttown and what they've done with the 5 communities around this whole concept. So that, again, there's 2 principal areas that we work from. So what we talk about is the values of respect and inclusion. The values of respect and inclusion are the common ground for all, regardless of background, culture, or status. And our role with our community economic activities are to inspire inclusive, peaceful, caring, enterprising neighborhoods and local communities. So I'll stop there for the moment and first introduce Reverend Dorothy Price, or Mama D as we say. Mama D, are you there? Good to see you've come onto the platform. I'm going to take it that you are there. So this section now, I would really want to hand over to Dean. And Dean, it's about just sharing that learning from the work that you've done in Augustown, particularly when the area when you have, at the point where you have to start, where there's a lot going on, and there are challenges from around the community, and you have to be a catalyst. Somebody has to go in, get things up and running. You can talk about that. Then also just give us some insight in the important role of scouts and scouting and what that means for the neighborhood, if you would, please. Thank you.
Mr. Woody, thank you for this great opportunity to be on this platform. Good evening, everyone. Just a little quick background. My name is Dean Roden, and I've been involved in the Boy Scout, the scouting, over 30 years. I was not a scout. I grew up in Hermitage, which is adjoined to Augustown, and I was the president for the Citizens Association, and this was like in 1984. And they were like rivalry, you know, things wasn't going on too well in the community. And that's how I started scouting and becomes a part of the scout group. And I started scouting from 1984, and I've never stopped. You know, we camp in the community, you know, and as a community development consultant, the greatest and the strongest scout group, it's the community support. The community is responsible for that scout group. And once you have a scout group working along with the community, they will make a difference. And I can tell you, out of that batch of youngsters who have started the group, they are, you know, some are doctors, they're in different fields. It make a difference in the community. I'm now in the United States, and I'm a part of the US diaspora. Today, I train the top scouts in America. I train Eagle Scouts, and scouting have taken me very far. And it's what the program is great, but you have to have the community support, you know. And once you have a scouting group in your community, I was also a member of the national training team. So I have scouts in all, it can scouts to come. Once you're visiting your community, it will make a difference, you know. And I tell you, since I met Rudy Page, I am in touch with August. I haven't been in Augustown for the past 12 years, but because of my scouting experience, I work with all 5 community in the development of the communities. You know, so scouting has strengthened me to relate to people in the community of different background, different class, and different. I'm thinking about, it's not a short-term program. It's not an overnight. Sometimes people say scout should be the more perfect person, but it's the assistant and the collaboration of the community that can strengthen this initiative. And as I said, I've started to spread the news, as Mr. Page have told me, and there are several other scout groups that would have, you know, would visit the site and visit your community, you know, on different occasions to strengthen the relationship of those programs. You have to be scout. You can invite other group, Girl Guides, Cadet, or other uniform groups. You know, I work with all these different groups also to visit your community. You have an event and you invite these people, because what I used to do in Hermitage, and I would have events where I invite the Girl Guide, the Scout, like even the event that we're going to be having in Augustown. We're going to be having Girl Guides, Scout, the Pathfinders. So when I say Scout, we would widen it to uniform groups. Over time, these Scouts will invite different uniform groups. So I think that's a great initiative that you are going to be doing, and we are here to support whatever way we can support you from our end, because I'm also a part of the Northeast Diaspora and the Global Diaspora Council. So we would try and strengthen it in whatever ways or mean we can, Mr. Page.
Right, thank you for that, Dean. And maybe you could say a little bit about the importance of Scouts as young people and their involvement in community services, particularly where we're looking in Mesga Gardens, at least, to do a beach enhancement project. And of course,
Yeah,
we've got a commitment from the Scouts to support that. Obviously, the community will do its bit, but I think again, there's something about understanding the role of young people, community collaboration, which is for the betterment for the environment, but also for for the neighborhood and those intergenerational relationships.
and that's what, when a scout go to a place, they said the only thing you should leave behind is your footprint. And those were the days. So that's where the environment, and this has been going on over the years. So once the scout started, we can have like whether once a month a cleanup drive to maintain it, and they will receive a merit. They receive badge for their community service. So you can start a group. We scout from outside your community to come and visit. As I said, from different parts, once you have proper facility, you can get other scout, because I used to do it in Hermitage, where I would have a weekend of badge taking. So I would have scout from St. Peter's and Paul, scout from all the prep school would come by in Hermitage for their badges. So they would do the cycle badge, they can do the different badges, they can do environmental badge. Because the greatest thing with these things, in Jamaica, they say one hand wash the other. So when they and that's what scouting receive when they do a service, they get a badge for their merit. So by coming there, we could say, okay, once you come and perform your environmental badge, and whether it's be the cleanup beach, so we'd use one set of scout, maybe this month, next set of scout from a different part of the island. Can be any of the 14 parishes, we can get scout to come to visit. And they would, once they know that they will receive the merit for that, gradually over time, the place would makes a difference and they would achieve something. And we can use the girl guide. When I want to start the scout, we can also have the girl guide, but we can look at the scout for now, and then we can look at a long-term thing, or what's the first initiative that we can do, whether it's machinery work, we do the machine part of it, and then we do the lighter part gradually over time.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. And the other community related point to that, it's not about payment, and as we've been informed, it's about having the bags, the gloves, water and food. So, and I think that is a great return to get that kind of initiative moving. Before we go on to the Windrush 5 Communities Anchor Festival in Augustown, I just want to check if Reverend Dorothy Price, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Good,
Present.
good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
And if I remember, okay,
thank you.
For
Right.
Reverend Price, if I may continue a bit with him, no problem.
Yeah, carry on. Yeah, carry on. No problem.
A little background of Augustown. Augustown
Yeah.
is very historical. I was thinking about it that Augustown was a community that was named after Emancipation Day 1838. Augustown have a name, but it was named after the first Prime Minister, the first Michael Manley. There's Manley Avenue. When the university was building, that Princess Anne, Princess Alice, she stayed in a house, and there's a road, that's a house in Hermitage, right at the entrance of Augustown. There's so much historical thing there. It's named after Princess Alice. It's named Princess Alice Drive. And there's so much historical thing there. And we are going to be displaying and bring out all of these celebrities. Player, imagine the only 4 bobsled players. He's from Augustown. The Jamaica national gymnastic coach, he's from Augustown. And we can, the world don't know that. So I'm only saying that there's some historical thing in your community that you can identify. Would it be a rock that some strap sit and you can use that also. So despite all the negative, my mission is to go and dig up all the positive thing in Augustown. And that's what this initiative is, to market your community
Yeah.
No matter how sick I am, some sure, that's what I think I just want to bring out.
Actually, Dean, thank you very much for that, really, because historically, where Mesga Gardens is, it's on the old Albion estate, which was a big plantation back in a long time ago. And in fact, the people who were on that estate actually marched to support Paul Bogle when he did his march to the courthouse. And it's in the historical records that people left the area of that area of Albion to support Paul Bogle. And then on the so there are some quite historical other landmarks. Three Finger Jack, it's from that same area. Again, somebody who was part of the freedom fighters of the time as well. So there is a lot of historical context to the area. So I'm glad you actually mentioned that point. That's a good point in the history. That's important. So very quickly to go on to talk a bit more about Mamadi in the moment, but I just want to give the background to what's going on in Augustown, and we just hear from Mamadi what they're actually really doing. So this year is the Windrush 75 celebration. So that's 75 years since the HMT Windrush ship left Jamaica, May 24th, 1948. So the Windrush era itself really covers the period from 48 through to about 1971, 73. And that's where there was the high level of immigration to England from Jamaica and the wider Caribbean as well. But it's really known as the Windrush era because of the ship. And so we've put together, and many people have put together programs and activities that really mark that historic occasion. So we have a program called the Windrush Anchor Heritage Education Program, which is a unique community-focused initiative showcasing a live replica of the vessel Anchor to celebrate the Caribbean Commonwealth community's cultural heritage and contribution to the United Kingdom. So you would have heard that there is a such thing as the Windrush scandal, which was to do with the immigration status of many young people who came up from Jamaica on their parents' passport, but in latter years were unable to prove their status for various different reasons. And but on the other side of that, there is a side, the celebration, the hope, the strength, the resilience, and the contribution, as I mentioned earlier on, that Jamaicans and Caribbean people have made to the development of UK society. So that's what we're celebrating. And given that, our parents came from this land, Jamaica, then it's important that we, from around the diaspora, not only just give back where we can to Jamaica, but contribute to the development of the society, which I mentioned earlier on. So the model for doing that at the moment, at this time, as indicated, is in fact Augustown and the 5 communities that actually make up Augustown. So on the 23rd of next month, which is also, it's a Tuesday, which is also Labour Day, the Windrush 5 Communities Anchor Festival involving business, community, civic and faith leaders will take place at Augustown Primary School. In the morning, there'll be sports, football, netball, there'll be beautification of the school, there'll be painting of Augustown Police Station. And then in the afternoon, there'll be cultural, community economic development activities, entertainment, creative murals, dominoes, stories from diaspora families, because as you know, in all areas, there's very few families that haven't been touched by people having to leave community and go abroad. And so that's a great day, and the theme is a united family at home and abroad. So having said that, I'm now pleased to ask Amadi, she's probably known, to come on board and give us an outline of the activities. But most importantly is the context of this work. It has not been easy, but it is necessary. And Mamadi is one of those people, just like Dean. It's about doing the right thing. It can be challenging, but in the long run, it has to be done, and someone has to do it. So, Mamadi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, over to you. You're on mute.
Let me speak.
Right, we're not picking you up. And Antoinette, I'm going to ask you to come on until Mamadi can get her line, and just talk about the importance of the cultural aspect of what we're doing, and some of the work that you've done around culture, and particularly in the area of belonging and cultural communication, and that whole intergenerational relationship building. Thank you.
Thank you, Rudy. Good night, everyone. I'm Antoinette Page, and I'm based here in the UK. So I'm actually in London. I'm of Jamaican parentage. So my parents came over part of the Windrush era, as Rudy just described. In doing so, you know, they really instilled in many of us across the communities the great value of staying connected to our roots and making sure that we continue to learn and preserve our traditional values. And by that, I mean making sure that our children and our community do acknowledge the contributions, and that would be through culture, fashion, education, sport, that we still continue and display our Jamaican heritage in all that we do. So, to what Rudy has shared, I actually run an organization which makes sure that we promote and we preserve our cultural heritage here in the UK, but also across Africa and the whole Caribbean. And the things that we have done is that we make sure we invest in our young people. So we include them in our activities. So similar to Dean's work, we ensure that we have the next generation a part of all the activities that we do. I work in scope of film, we do fashion, we do entertainment, and as we say, sports. So, you know, it's about, with this project, how can we continue to integrate and have the young people have that sense of belonging, that sense of hope, and that sense of community? How do we help them understand that the community is for them and by them? It's not separate to them. So in all that we write or we prepare, how we speak to them, on all levels that all touch points, I should say, that we do involve the young people. So I'm here to help in any way that I can. I'm also a part of the team working with Rudy and Mamadi and Dean on the celebration next month in August Town. As Rudy has said, we've done a lot so far. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. So, you know, I'm welcomed to be on this group, and I look forward to sharing my experience in any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Antoinette. Mamadi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, over to you. One thing I didn't mention before you start was which I'd like you to say something about the African Gardens Farmers Market and the importance of women in agriculture, the work that you've been doing. So over to you now. Thank you. You've gone on.
Every time I'm about
Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maitland. I am a justice of the peace of St. Andrew, and I am the motor for the farmers and the processing, along with our elder Robert Campbell. He is the founder of African Garden. Founder of African Garden, 25 years old. It is a pleasure of being a full part in the development of the Windrush Anchor Festival, along with Rudy Page and Dean and other stakeholders. It is a challenge, but we have to make it.
Right. Yes, definitely a challenge when it comes to the technology. Right. What we're going to do is we've got Karine Dawkins. Karine, are you there? Another guest from, I mentioned earlier on about Westgate Hills in Montego Bay. I've just checked that you're there.
Yes, I am, Mr. Page. I am.
Good evening, Karine.
Good evening to you.
Just
And all your guests.
thank you. Thank you for joining us. Just before you came on, at the beginning, I spoke about the importance of using spaces within communities, and we started off with talking about community garden initiative and how it can be used to bring people together. You can use them for agriculture plants, climate change activities, meeting spaces within local neighborhoods and communities. So what I'd like you to do really is just to introduce your community space and just give some background and context to it to show what can be done once that vision and that mission and the courage and determination and what results it can bring to communities. Thank you.
All righty, thank you. I'm Karine Bailey Dawkins. I am the president of the Westgate Hills CDC in St. James. Westgate Hills is one of what is classified as a middle class development. The community was developed by Barnett Estate over 50 years ago, and it is divided into 3 phases with approximately 873 lots with 5 established green spaces. The developer did not develop these green spaces. So the community is now left with the awesome responsibility of creating green spaces, parks, gardens, recreational areas for our community. We have had a beautification drive for a number of years where we plant our verges. We are now at the stage where we are developing one of our 5 green spaces, the biggest. It's a 4.5 acre property where the intent is to create a park looking at all the areas, climate change, tourism, the need for generating income. So with the help of Mr. Page, who we are blessed to have, we have developed this plan that is now at the council level for approval, where we have been able to create 16 lots out of this 4.5 acre property, 13 of which we will be using for as income generating, and 3 will be developed. We'll house a tennis court, a community swimming pool with a clubhouse, eating area. And we are also toying with the idea of having some container houses for tourism, that persons can come and see the rustic side of the community and be engulfed in the whole beautification and the natural setting of that area. The proposal is a $1 billion proposal where we hope to get funding internationally and locally through the Tourism Development Fund, through our government, and through the residents. It is important that our communities become more than just a place for us living. It has to reflect every area of our life, spiritually, physically, emotionally, recreationally. We have to be now packing everything in our community. We have 8 returning residents who have spent years abroad and is coming home, and they're looking at how they're going to live out the rest of their lives, what they can do within our communities. So for our community, that is what we are embarking on. Yesterday, we launched our Labor Day month of activities, where we started at one area development within the community that has 67 small houses, townhouses, where we had a cleanup campaign. We encourage residents to come out with your broom, with garbage bags, and we just swept, packed up the leaves, remove any bottles, anything that was there, bag them for recycling, and had the solid waste team come in and collect them. We are also we're looking at different areas, different phases. We are also running a competition where we have what is called the lawn inspector, a former inspector of police, retired former inspector, who now on his morning walks go around, look at the different areas, look at the different lawns, the outer part of your home, and will make a recommendation who has the best kept lawn or garden. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's just how you look at your environment, the impact that it has on the value of your community and the value of your space. And we will be acknowledging these persons. We will climax on Labor Day, where we'll be having our main event, where we are creating a rock garden at the entrance of our community. We'll also be doing some other areas in different parts of the community. And we will end with a community get together, where we just cook some good manish water soup and maybe some chicken soup and something else, and we'll just meet and eat and drink and enjoy a good community vibes. And that's what we are doing. And I'm happy that we met Mr. Page, who came on board. When he saw the vision, he didn't hesitate. And we are glad to have him working with us. So thank you, Mr. Page. And I look forward to working wherever I can.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
That's a great overview of what's called the collective leadership of the neighborhood. And those values I mentioned earlier on it's about inspiring, inclusive, peaceful, caring, enterprising neighborhoods and local communities. So it's well demonstrated what you've just outlined to us. Right, before I come to Ray Duncan, I'll try Mamadi, and then I'll also go to Dwayne Harris because of his link with Augusttown, if you'd like to say a few words. So, Mamadi, are you there? Is your line going to hold?
Yeah, I'm here.
Right, let's see if your line holds. Right, doesn't look as though. Right, you're on mute. Let's see. Let's try again.
Hello.
Right. Yes. Yes, Dwayne. So, tell us
Good
your with Augusttown. You've been into. Right. Hold on a sec, Dwayne. Let's just see if Mamadi line will hold so that we can hear what she's got to say.
Please forgive me. I didn't know
Are
about
you
the
hearing me
meeting.
now?
I just logged into the meeting.
Hold on a sec,
few minutes
Dwayne, hold on a sec, please. We just want to see if we can get Mamadi to line, if it will hold. Mamadi, can you?
Right,
Yes, are you hearing me? Yes, I'm here.
Right. Can you give us that overview very quickly, just so that we've got it on record? Just very quickly about what you're doing on the festival, please.
The African Garden Farmers and Hogger Processing Market. We are doing farming in pig, in chick poultry, and in various apples, and a various variety of fruits. It's in the hogger processing here. We have been doing a variety of natural juices and a variety of herbal wine and herb juices. So within that, we have also the women in agricultural and entrepreneurship, which some of them are doing knitting, culinary, and various aspects of sheeting set and other variety of stuff. And we are prepared to market ourselves on that day, the 23rd, which we will be having the anchor unveiling, and we'll be having the launch of our farmers market in community and tourism launch for that day. We'll be having also domino tournament. We'll be having sport that will be up by the school with the mirrors. And Kenneth Wilson will be piloting that section of true restorative justice. And we down here in African Garden, we hosting the event with the diaspora. It is the first it's coming to Jamaica, and we are gladly that we have partners with us, African Garden Land Development, for the 5 communities. And the 5 communities will be participating on that day. Each one will have a booth for their self and other stakeholder. And that they will be having artists, will be having cultural activities also, and with both the domino, one young person and one old person, elderly, will be playing in the domino tournament, which Mr. Eddie Perry, he will be hosting that part of the event. So we are preparing and highlighting that day will be a successful day for the youth them in the community and the elderly on a whole, that we can join together and build our community to let it be an emancipated community continually for the rest, for the 2020-30 in community development.
Thank you for that. And of course, you've had good support from the CDC, SDC, JCIP,
Yes.
haven't you? And of course, UE and the Mona Social Services team as well. So that there has been that a wide range of partnerships, again, at that local neighborhood level. And I think that's what we're really stressing, is the development that goes on in the neighborhoods, in the local communities. And as was mentioned, the Ministry of Justice Restorative Justice Program is an integral part of this process. It's led by Kenneth Wilson, and his program is called Bring Back the Love. So that they're using sports as a way to engage communities, young people, build team working, build friendships, build relationships. They're using football, netball, they're using dominoes, they have regular meetings. And the local MP is also the Education Minister, Mr. Favour Williams. So it's well supported. Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck, has regularly been into Augustown as part of this. So again, and it's all been built up from the neighbourhood, which is really the importance of this. And there's a wide range of other stakeholders as well. So thank you for that, Mama D. So Dwayne, I'm only asking you because you come from Augustown. So Dean and Mama D would be interested just to hear about that aspect, particularly as you're from that Goldsmith Villas area. So it's just for you just to say hello, really, that's all.
I'm sorry, what do you want me to say?
No, I'm just saying, only thing that we're asking you to say is about you coming from Augustown. Because
right.
Augustown, as you've just been hearing, has been a significant part of the model of working. So it's just the fact that you come from there, that was all. So it's just a hello, really, nothing else.
Yes, I am from Augustown. As a matter of fact, I'm in Augustown right now.
So Dean will be so pleased to hear that, because it's.
Where are you in Augustown?
I am, yes.
Where? A lot of people say they're from Augustown. I don't know the top of her.
Sorry.
Where?
So who is it? Who is this?
Dean Rose.
Dean, man, the scout leader from Hermitage.
Sinclair?
Not Jimmy Sinclair, Dean Roden.
Dean Roden.
Oh, Roden. Oh, you're right. Yes. I know you. You look like Winston Roden. All right, yes, man. I am in Augustown. I'm near Bracid Lane.
Right, okay. All right.
We're close to Bracid Lane right now.
Yeah, it was just to introduce you, because the main initiative that we're speaking about, the model that's been developed in partnership with UK and US diaspora, happens to be Augustown, and that's the Windrush 5 Communities Anchor Festival. And Evelyn Thompson told me that you're from Augustown, so that was it. That was all, really.
Okay, great. I look forward to seeing how I can be a part of this process. I literally just tuned in. I heard about the meeting late, but it seems very interesting. Yeah. I heard you talking about the lawn competition. That seems very interesting. I hope you have a gardening competition as well, where people can plant foods, small crops and things like that. But it sounds very good.
Yeah, and I think that will be part of it, because as Mamadi indicated earlier on, they have the Women's Agricultural Group, which has been translated into a farmers market, which is excellent, because that's about economic development within the community, within the neighborhood. And in fact, it was Karine Dawkins from Westgate Hills, Montego Bay, that was speaking about that competition, and it is a good idea. And I think once communities get together, people will be amazed at the creative ideas people will come up with that will kind of inspire community involvement. So the challenge is in communities is to get that involvement. You can talk about representation, but you can't get representation until you get people involved, get the communities involved in their own interests. And you're inclusive, of course. That's the challenge that we have in terms of a lot of neighborhood development. There's a legacy of being exclusive, when we have to challenge that and be much more inclusive, regardless of people's background, culture, or their status. We want all the talents. So thanks for that, Dwayne. So Ray Duncan, before we open up to anyone else, I'm particularly thinking of Eunice Beckford and Darlene McCalla, if she's on here. Tell us a bit about your community over in Portland. And just before you do that, just to remind everybody, part of this new initiative with St. Thomas is that we're actually going to bring the 3 parishes together. So Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Thomas and Portland, those 3 parishes make up the county of Surrey. So again, we're used to doing cluster development, sharing resources, sharing knowledge, sharing learning, and again, the UK, US, and Canadian diaspora, we will be collaborating. Again, we're Dean and myself are bringing on board the Canadian diaspora, be as equal as the work that we're doing together, and then all of us then will connect with the 3 parishes. So, Ray, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, so I am from a small district in Portland, a place called Harthill, near Buff Bay, if anybody knows Portland at all. We basically started a foundation off the back of COVID as people in the community saw a need to support some of the more vulnerable people in the community. Effectively, the foundation was formed with past and present members from the community, some located in the USA, some located in the UK, some located in Jamaica. And the model is quite simple. We raise funds and resources from wherever we are, and we funnel them into the community, mainly to support the more vulnerable people. So we do care, we've done care packages, we do back to school treats, we've done we help people with their medical bills when they can't afford the full medical treatment. We've provided wheelchairs, Zimmer frames. We provided clothes where we can, and basically whatever we can raise and direct towards the community, we've done that. And as I said, we started that off the back of COVID, so we're coming into our 3rd year soon. And basically, at the moment, we're looking at ways that we can further develop the foundation. It's a registered nonprofit organization in Jamaica, but we haven't gone for full charity status as yet. So we're looking for certainly innovative ways that we can develop the foundation to better support the community. One thing is to find a more sustainable way of funding the stuff that we do, because we can't always rely on people giving donations. We want to empower the community to actually do stuff that can raise funds that can then be used to support the people who can't help to support themselves and so on. So a fairly simple model. We're fairly new in our operation, but we've been quite effective so far and have been well received within the community. As I say, we're all from the community. We've done some stuff outside of the community as well, as our sort of reputation has spread. People have come to us and asked us for assistance here and there. So that word is spreading, and certainly our ambitions is to widen that type of model outside of my little community and move into the rest of Portland initially, and then probably to move that model across the whole island.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Before I go on, Karina, I would say that of course we are thinking about Cornwall as one of the clusters as well. Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, and so St. Elizabeth. So we're not leaving Montego Bay out cluster, but it's going to be the development of the other projects that are in that part of the country. But
Awesome. Thank you for that.
And of course, we see Westgate Hills as very much the anchor for the Cornwall cluster. But we will watch that develop over time. Is Eunice or Darlene on? And would they like to speak before I open up for any questions? And I definitely would like to hear from Evelyn Thompson from a cultural Jamaica national heritage perspective in terms of what we've been speaking about. And of course, even in Westgate Hills area, of course, we were talking about some of the historical importance of the areas. And I think all areas in Jamaica have got some significant historical artifacts, leftover buildings, all kinds of things, which will definitely feed into that broader community economic tourism that can be a benefit for raising funds for the locality. So, right, so I'm not hearing from Eunice or Darlene. Okay, so Evelyn, would you like to say a few words or give a perspective at all?
Okay, good evening, everyone. I don't know if Dwayne is still on. I'm happy that he could make it, particularly at such short notice. He is the education officer for the Jamaica National Heritage Trust. So I invited him based on 3 different hats. He lives in St. Thomas presently. He was born and bred in Augustown, and he's the education officer for the Jamaica National Heritage Trust. He therefore has a passion for the entire area that you have mentioned, both from a historic perspective, as someone who has been an educator for an extended time period. He is also critical to the perspective going forward. So we look forward to him and the JNHD becoming more involved in this project. Before I speak about specifically in terms of what we've been talking about, I was also trying to get Shelley Thompson on. She is the president for, it's the equivalent to a parish community, group of community leaders. So each community leader is pulled into an entire community group for St. Thomas, which Shelley leads. And they also look at the heritage component of the parish as well as the development of the parish. So as I listened to what was being said, I tried to get her on. She was unable to make it, but we will make more contact with her to ensure that all the agencies that are involved in the development, be it on a parish-wide basis or a county basis, is involved. So we basically sing from the same hymnal. We have the same perspective. We do not stumble over each other, but rather we reinforce and synchronize our efforts towards the same common goal. Because we all have the same common goal as you have stated at the beginning of your presentation, Mr. Page. Yes, in terms of the JNHT now, we, as in UK last year, and out of that, we had a group of 2 individuals coming to Jamaica. And then further to that now, we are in the process of organizing for representatives from 4 Caribbean countries to be going to United Kingdom in September of this year. It's still in the formative stage. The funding agencies are in discussions with us in terms of formulating what exactly we'll be doing that when we're there. But basically, the objective is to to learn how better to develop our heritage within the different Caribbean countries. If my memory serves me right, there's Barbados, there's Bahamas, Jamaica, St. Kitts Nevis. So representatives from each country will be going, and the objective, as I said earlier on, is the development of heritage sites within these different countries. After that discussion started before I saw what Mr. Page had in mind. So what I've discussed with him is how we can link with our funding agent in UK to ensure that, again, we synchronize what is being conceived in one non-governmental organization with the other governmental organization. So basically, it's just pulling the groups together to ensure that at the end of the day, we all reinforce each other and we synchronize, and with increased synergy, we can have a significantly more powerful program going forward and ensure that all the bases are covered and the gaps are filled so that we have a more robust program going forward.
Great. Thank you very much for that. And I'll just repeat the points that Evelyn has really made in terms of us achieving the synergy, as we would call it. We call it cultural synergy because, you know, culture is an unseen strand that binds people together. And so by following the policy of Vision 2030 Development Plan and the National Diaspora Policy, both those have the same outcome for Jamaica and Jamaican people. So the overall theme is a united family at home and abroad. That's why we adopted it for the five communities Anchor Festival in Augustown. And the goals, I'll state them again quite simply. Goal 1, Jamaicans are empowered to achieve their fullest potential. Goal 2, the Jamaican society is secure, cohesive, and just. Goal 3, Jamaica's economy is prosperous. Goal 4, Jamaica has a healthy environment. So again, it's that alignment, collective leadership, the collaboration, the trust, the cooperation, sharing of resources. So all of these values, the values of respect and inclusion, common ground for all. So all of this is a values-led approach, which Evelyn, you alluded to. Dean, just before I come to you again, let me just bring Eunice Beckford in, please, from is it Port Morant CDC, Eunice? I hope I got that right.
Yes, you got it right. Good evening and good afternoon, all. Kind of been in and out, so I'm not really getting the gist of this meeting, unfortunately. But I am the PRO of the Port Morant Community Development Committee in Port Morant, St. Thomas. We have been in existence since the 14th of April, 2011. As much as possible, we are trying to uplift the community. It can be a struggle. You know, some persons really don't want to be uplifted, but we assist where we can assist. We've assisted persons to go on a farm work program. We assist those with scholarships. We hold a festival each year, apart from the last 2 years, called the Port Morant Banana Festival, similar to Jerk Fest, Seafood Fest, etc., etc. And we're just here for the community as much as community wants to be helped. Unfortunately, it can be a struggle, can be a task, but we strive to go on, and our motto is striving for a better community.
Right, because that means that you don't give up, determination. And
that's it.
You know that need the help, which is great. All right. Is there anything that you want to say about the Banana Fest, or is it too early?
It can never be too early.
Well, tell us about
again, the Banana Fest will be in its 9th year. It would have been 11th or 10th, but again, because of this virus that went around, we highlight the exportation of the bananas from Bowden Wharf, which is in our vicinity or in our area, back in the 70s or 50s, bananas and sugarcane used to be exported from Bowden Wharf, one of the best harbors there are in the Caribbean. Port Martin used to be extremely vibrant. It was a town to itself. Pharmacies, banks, you name it. But once that died, once the exportation or the banana industry there died, the community somewhat died with it. So, you know, the fest is basically to highlight the wharf products made from bananas. And, you know, it's just a family fun there. From 10 till 10, we do boat rides over from Producer Wharf, which was one of the 3 wharfs, and over to Bowden, turn back around on the boat ride and come back. So it's just a family fun day, good, clean, wholesome entertainment. And everybody who is on this link, I'll send Mr. Page the flyer when it's ready. Come on board. There will be a cost. We haven't decided yet. And just come and enjoy some good, wholesome, clean, decent entertainment for the day.
Sounds great. Bringing people together across the generations is always got to be a good thing.
All right. So it's not limited to St. Thomas. It's island-wide and overseas.
Right. Thank you very much. Dean, would you like to say a few words as we're coming to the end of the program?
Yeah, I just want to quickly add to, I think it was Miss Evelyn Thomas, about the whole historical thing that she talked about, Augustown. And we're doing is down by Bryce Hill. There's a lot of legacy. Bedwood grave is there. Bedwood legacy is right there. There's a person that have the amper, the candle. I personally hold Bedwood Bible and all those things. It's right on Bryce Hill. And if you Google my name, I don't know if it's still up, and with the I was through the hill, you know, the Mona Reservoir water, it came from St. Thomas. So there's a hiking trail that joined Hermitage to Augustown, and you can walk. We can also look into that for our next, 2030 vision plan to make a connection. Because the scouts and the girl we used to walk, I would take scout like every month.
So Dean, we lost your line slightly then. Are you saying you can actually hike from St. Thomas, where in St. Thomas to Augustown? Do you know the other?
Yeah, right
in St. Thomas.
Yeah, there's a road. That's where the water. There's a pipeline that comes from St. Thomas that goes straight to Mona Reservoir. So I used to walk from that straight to right to airport, go to Harborview Stadium. I can Google, you see it. You see me hiking with Scout that I used to take Scout. So we can look at that for, Scout can do like a 5 mile, they get a badge for that. And we can use the trail with maybe uniform group first, but have the environmental road is safe. We could have a track and we do a regular hike there. You see the beautiful, that's where you see the beauty of the Blue Mountain Peak, Augustown, the university. It's a beautiful scenery. I have done it several times. I would just do go from Hermitage straight to Harborview. We would walk through there. Okay. The pipeline is from St. Thomas straight to Mona Reservoir.
Wow. Thanks for that. Right. Mamadi, you want to say something?
Yes, Rudy. You're hearing me now?
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you're on mute. Okay, all right, Mamadi's on.
Okay, while she's sorting out herself, I just got a text from Shelley Thompson, the president for basically the St. Thomas groups. She said that she came on for a short time, but she was unable to stay because she had prayer commitment. But she's quite interested in what she heard for the short time period she was in the program, and she looks forward to see how best we can work together. So that's a positive going forward.
That is great for this Windrush 75, because we've got 7 years to go to get to 2030, And so we have to start today. There's an old saying that says, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So that's why we're getting ourselves organized for 2030. So thanks for that, Evelyn. Right, before we go, Karine, is there anything that you would like to say before we close?
I just want to say what I'm hearing is quite interesting, and I look forward to working with the different groups, especially the Jamaica National Heritage Trust. Yeah. We spoke about the heritage of the Barnett Estate and what is in our community and how we can build on that. So that was one of the areas that we needed to do some research in. So I'm glad that we have the personnel here where we can build on. I'm also a part of the neighborhood watch, and security, safety and security for community is very vital. And we can pull the National Neighborhood Watch movement into what we are doing through our national president, Dr. Asha Moindo. So there are other areas, other personnel that we can put into what we are doing, looking at communities in a wholesome package.
And that's great. And of course, we look forward to the Westgate Hills Festival 2024 as well.
We will make it happen. We'll make it happen, sir.
Just like the Mesga Garden Beach Festival in 2024. So everybody will be visiting each other, most importantly.
Yes, we will.
Right. Mamadi, we'll try you one more time before we close. Let you have the last word.
Yes, I'm in now. We are having our cultural cuisine kitchen also on the 23rd, which that will comprise the natural food and natural juices. And food and refreshment will be on sale. We are doing that for our development that we can carry through our organization along with our community to be self-reliant.
Excellent. Right. All right. So one last chance, if anybody else who hasn't spoken like to say anything before we go.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Darlene McCallum from the Social Development Commission. I'm the field supervisor with the Social Development Commission. Yes, and we are the principal development agency that in the government that deals with community development. We falls under the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. And we work with community groups known as community development committees, such as the one that Ms. Beckford spoke about in Port Morant, and also the one that Ms. Evelyn spoke that Shelley is a part of, which Shelley is a part of the Albion CDC also. So we work with those groups in the community, and those groups in the community are actually the voice of the community, and they are the vehicle for community development within a space. So we go and we work with groups in the community, identify issues and challenges, and see how best we can work with them to alleviate same. We work under different programmatic area, and one such as the community research and development, where we do profiles on the communities. So we have background information and all the different communities within the space, which also include their population and all of that. And as I hear you talking about working about heritage site, JNHD, Miss Evelyn was talking about heritage site. I have worked closely with JNHD, especially in the A-field area. So as I say, what I hear this evening is it has a very good look. and something that I would really want to be a part of. So I am just here listening in and to soak in the information and get a better understanding of what it is all about.
Thank you very much, Darlene, and you have been very helpful as well. So
you're welcome.
Glad you were able to come on and speak. So great. So we're going to leave the last word with you. And I'd just like to thank everybody, and we will be in touch as we make our moves. And hopefully, if you're available, come to August Town on the 23rd of May for the Windrush 5 Communities Anchor Festival. Details are available from myself, and there's a website that has a lot of information as well, and details are available from the African Gardens Land Development Company, Mama Dean Roden has details. So we'll make sure we share all the details with both Evelyn, Eunice, and Darlene in terms of local contacts as well. So thank you, everybody. Good evening, and have a good Sunday, because tomorrow is Monday. Thank you. Goodbye.
Tomorrow is my birthday.
Really? Happy birthday, Mama D. I hope you're going to take a rest.
Today's my fiance. Tomorrow is my fiance birthday too.
Is it? Okay, that's good.
Right, so, all right, Mama, you don't want no whisper take like that. All right.
Right, Brother Dean. I hope you're going out to dinner tomorrow.
Yeah, man. That's what we're going to be celebrating both of our birthdays.
Excellent.
Let's start from now, right? If finish, wrap it up in August.